Hi, this is Amy, and in this training, I'm going to share some 5-minute book marketing strategies.
Book marketing does not need to be a long and labor-intensive process. In this training, I'm going to go over some quick strategies you can use to get more visibility to your book. One of the things to keep in mind is that if you're feeling really overwhelmed with book marketing, which is a common complaint and one that I hear from a lot of writers and publishers, you can perform small actions consistently, which will lead to more success. And that way you're avoiding burnout or feeling overwhelmed. And this can apply to pretty much any project. In this case, I'm talking specifically about book marketing. So you don't have to spend hours. You don't have to spend 2 hours a day or 20 hours a week or something like that with book marketing. Because at the end of the day, you really should be also working on writing your next book. However, if you can spend a few minutes, 5, 10 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week, that's going to help you get more visibility in sales as long as you're performing consistent actions and you following a plan. So a great way to get started quickly is to pin your book and related types of content on Pinterest. You can actually find specific boards and groups dedicated to your niche. This can work with fiction or nonfiction. There's a lot of book lover groups out there on Pinterest. Also, if you're doing nonfiction, there's also a lot of different groups related to specific niches. So you can pin fun and viral fit photos, quotes, memes. You can relate them to your book or book covers, but I would also suggest mixing them up and doing like quotes and things like that. And what you would have on your little image is like a URL back to your book blog or lead page, and then a little description. To get these created, there's actually a lot of different sort of image generators out there. You can get software, you can use free tools like canva.com. You can also outsource. You can go on Fiverr and have somebody create, 10 of these for you or a month or something like that. To find related boards, you can go to pingroupie.com. This is a free website which shows you related boards. And then what I've also put here at the pinjunkie.com is basically how to get invited to these groups. They're group boards, and so once you find a group board, and you have a Pinterest account, you can get invited and then you can post there. If you're creating memes or quote images and you're posting them on on Pinterest and on these specific group boards, you also want to go ahead and post them to your other social media accounts as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, perhaps. Depending on what you have, maybe Google Plus. LinkedIn isn't really great for that type of thing. But reuse and repurpose the work that you've already done, and you can spread them out under other social media accounts. Don't ignore this type of traffic. It's not necessarily the most targeted, but Pinterest can drive a lot of traffic. Book in a niche that's something that's popular with people on Pinterest, which tends to skew mostly toward women, although men are getting more involved. Another way that you can get your book more visibility is to update your keywords. And this is something that takes about 5 minutes. And you can do this like once a month or so, is you can go into your account inside the KDP dashboard. So when I'm talking about updating your keywords, in this respect, I'm talking more specifically about your Kindle book, but I do know that other book publishing platforms also let you add tags or keywords, so you can then go in and change those there as well. What you want to do is look at similar books in your genre and the content and see what keywords they're using. You can head over to the search and use autocomplete phrases. This is an example here where I typed in vampire, and you can see here vampire romance series books. So these are all keywords, they're all similar, but they're all slightly different. If you have a vampire romance book, you could include these as your keywords because this is what people are already looking for on Amazon. This is really powerful because it's just allowing you to tap in and tie in your book a little bit more to actual search results that are coming in. Now, the Amazon algorithm has a variety of things that they're looking for, but this can help you make sure your book is lined up with in terms of relevance for these specific types of searches. Also, I don't know if you know this, but you have to have specific keywords listed for your book if you want it to come up in specific Kindle categories. This is what Amazon says. So you can get more info about these categories and the keywords they're looking for with this link here. And so if you're trying to get into these specific book categories, you want to make sure you'll have these specific types of keywords listed. Another great tactic that can also work really great with small, consistent steps is to answer questions. This is a little more for nonfiction writers, but what you can do is you can use Google Alerts where you put in your topic and you get notifications. But I think a better way is to just check these sites each day because you really want to be one of the first people answering a question. I would pick 1 to 3 sites. The three probably most popular sites are Quora, answers.yahoo.com, and answers.com, although there are a ton of other sites out there. And you would just do a quick search in your category and you would just see what questions came up and then you would answer them. And what this does is it builds trust and it establishes yourself as an expert in that field. And when you're answering these questions, you'll have your profile and you can have a link in your profile so people can follow you and things like that. I mean, this is really a variation of a very tried and true technique where you can become visible in forums or in groups and answer questions. Uh, this is designed very specifically just for questions, and because of that, you can get a lot of targeted traffic because once you answer that question, it's all there on the site. And then over time, people will be looking at those questions or they'll type in a question in the search engine and then that'll come up and then they can go there. And so if you're consistent with this and you answer maybe a couple questions a week or something, you can start generating a lot of different traffic for different related questions. Lastly, this one is more of a tip that you can apply to a lot of different things, but I think it has a lot of potential in terms of using this strategy to get more visibility and sales for your books. And that's basically to create a list of authors who are similar to you. Now, these authors are probably going to be more bigger bestseller authors, more mainstream. So, for example, if you write horror, you would create a list of authors that are similar. Maybe Stephen King, maybe not, maybe, Clive Barker, maybe other types of writers. But it's just a lot easier to connect with your fan base if you know who they are, what they like, what they already like to read. You can follow these authors many times on social media, read their blogs, and then once you have this list, it's really powerful because what you can do is you can target their followers. This can relate really great to advertising, specifically Facebook advertising, which allows you to find people who like certain pages or who like certain interests. And so if the author is big enough on Facebook, it'll classify as an interest. This can be great if you're promoting a book sale or something like that. Check if you're a fan of so and so, check out this book. And so what you can do is you can position your book for fans of these other authors. You can do this in your book description on Amazon. You may have seen this. Fans of romance authors or paranormal, fans of paranormal authors like Sherilyn Keenan and stuff like that. You can also do that when you're doing your advertising. You can also do blog tours. You can find blogs that like to read and review these types of books, and you can pitch the blog owner and say, "Hey, my book would appeal to your group because I see that you're, reviewing this book, and my book is similar and will appeal to those fans." So there's a lot of ways that you can reach out to the people who are already reading the types of books that you're writing, and that can start with creating a list of authors who are similar. I hope these tips were helpful to you. The main thing, find a few things, stick with them, and do consistent actions. And then after time, you can measure their effectiveness for you and then keep with them or incorporate something new.